What's up, guys? I haven't taken anything yet today, but I had a little bit of a late start this morning. We ended up sleeping in because my girlfriend was off work for the day. So I'm gonna just kind of go through the charts and see if there was anything that maybe set up for us. And yeah, we'll have a quick look. Maybe 10. Cool. Okay, so obviously we've got all kinds of liquidity sort of building in this region. It's just a matter of whether or not that's going to get filled or what's going to end up happening here. We're obviously in bullish order flow. I would say that we could consider that this was the level in which order flow kind of realigned for us after the take on liquidity across equal highs. You can see that we're reacting very specifically to the wick. We've kind of induced this level on GU. And like I kind of mentioned before, like we could potentially look at the confirmations on this level right here, possibly. Like I said, I didn't personally get involved. Yeah, EU was a boring day today again. The trade that I'm really looking at sort of framing up, so EU is kind of framing up to potentially make that leg down. Looks like we've seen that larger liquidation kind of reacting to the flip that I mentioned yesterday in the daily look ahead. So yeah, we're just going to wait for some criteria to kind of build here. Ideally, I'd like to see this level get taken out, sweep back in, and then look for this higher time frame sell if and when it presents itself. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of sitting on my hands. Gold, on the other hand, same thing. I'm sort of waiting for my POI to get hit. So unfortunately, it's just going to be a little bit of a boring trade recap day, just given the fact that I am waiting for these higher time frame plays to kind of play out. What that would look like for me, ideally, would be a roll, come back up in, creating a level to very easily target with no level of liquidity to take, and this all becomes liquidity to kind of fuel our moves. So again, guys, no trades taken as of yet, so just kind of waiting around. What I will do is I will update everybody on the daily look ahead. Once our day kind of closes out, I'll have a good idea of where our POIs are sitting to potentially get into some really, really nice sell positions. Again, depending on how things sort of frame up. But yeah, we are getting that reaction to the high as expected. We got this huge level here. There's nothing, like we have bullish order flow, but there's nothing really holding this level in place, at least the way that I'm viewing things. So I'm thinking we're going to be coming down into at least the extreme, if not probably taking out these levels, as there's no real level of liquidity to take from the market other than the equal lows to be able to potentially fuel this move back up to the upside to maybe go after these equals. So again, a little bit of a boring PA day today across all three pairs that we're monitoring. We're just kind of waiting for trend to realign in our favor and be able to kind of capitalize on the market. So hopefully everybody's just sitting there patiently waiting for these things to kind of manifest. Unfortunately, I don't control the markets, and I'm not going to force criteria on something that isn't quite developed the way that I need it yet. So yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of waiting on GU to do its thing as well. I'm also waiting on EU to do its thing, kind of solidify that we are going to take this low. And then furthermore, like I said, gold, I'm just waiting for that beautiful inducement across these equal highs to basically tap into this level and then drop like a bag of hammers. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I unfortunately, like I said, there's just no trades available that necessarily fit our criteria. So I am going to cut this here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. If there's anything that shapes up, we will build a case study around it tomorrow, later on in the afternoon, if something shapes up, kind of thing. So yeah, don't forget, through your Discord, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry, man, I should have asked for questions. Go ahead.
Can you just go back to EU for one quick sec?
EU?
Yeah, EU. And so I guess my question is, at what point does this low become weak? So as we were making, because you said we're bullish, bullish order flow, at what point do we determine that it's weak just because we got a reaction from a relevant area?
Well, we're assuming that it's weak based on the fact that, like, just look at the corrective nature of this coming back into essentially the area that took liquidity. We're expecting this to roll over. We're actually expecting this low to be weak, right? So we're just looking for confirmations to be able to kind of solidify the bias to make sure that we are going to be trading in the right direction. All of this looks like it's just generated liquidity, swept, pushed down, probably sweep back into this level, and then we're going to take this into this liquid region. So this low,
but at this point, it's not really confirmed at this point.
well, there's
basically
nothing,
when the low goes,
there's
that's when
nothing
it's
confirmed right this second. No, exactly. But we're assuming that this should be weak based on the fact that it's poor delivery. We have all sorts of built up mitigations to be able to fund this move. And on the higher time frame, we are expecting this low to be able to get taken before we can actually fuel up to this side, right? So this is probably generating liquidity to take liquidity to be able to target this at some point or another, if that makes sense.
Okay, last question. In some of the videos you mentioned that, or the way I'm trying to look at the liquidity, as you pointed out, you have all this liquidity here, but there's not very much up here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because we need to create the liquidity on the way down if we're going to make a higher high? Is that the idea?
Of course, right? Because we, like, in order for the market to want to move here, we need compounded orders, right? Like these passive orders sitting above here in the form of whether they be buy stops, whether they be, oh my goodness, stop losses, whatever the case is, we need to generate liquidity to be able to actually be able to fund this move, right?
Right. So so from my end of day markup, I can say that basically all this liquidity was taken.
Yep.
And we are anticipating this liquidity to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, we can see whether or not this low is going to hold.
Exactly.
Depending on how the price delivery delivers into this area.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, man. No worries.
That was easy.
Yeah, easy enough, right? Ask the questions and I will be able to answer. But yeah, the idea is that, like, we would expect to see possibly some form of a reaction off of here because so much liquidity is taken out of the market. The idea is that the market is going to want to navigate to the next area to find orders. And if and when it does, and it basically gets satisfied somewhere in the premium of this leg, the theory is that if we generate more liquidity here than we do across here, the theory is that we'll continue downwards, right? So it's all about delivery. It's all about understanding how the mitigations are happening and what higher time frame is expecting to do, right? Because the ulterior motive to take out these lows is that hedge funds want to fill with larger buy orders. And in order to fill buy orders, they need to replace the sell orders that sit below these lows.
Yeah. No, that's perfectly clear. It's the it's like the in-between stuff now. It's like the slow moving stuff that's confusing because there's arguments to be made for both directions.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's a little confused. Like I'm assuming that this is going to be that weak area based on the fact that, like, yeah, we've done this liquidation, we've swept already. We don't have anything really to target here. Expectational order flow is not really to put in a new high. It's actually to take out the low from the higher time frame. So this looks like built up liquidity to be able to actually do that. That's kind of where my head is going at least.
Yeah, 10-4. Okay, thanks.
One question I would like to ask you, have you observed that GU or XAU move better in New York than EU, or does every pair provide kind of, yeah, I don't necessarily correlate them specifically with like New York is better than London or London is better than New York. Really, all it really boils down to is that, like, there's going to be opportunities presented depending on, of course, what your criteria is in either session. But the idea is that we're trying to stay aligned more. I don't want to say the word weekly cycle because we don't really use weekly cycles, but we're focusing on those higher time frame pivot points. So I don't think that any specific time frame or session rather delivers any better than the other one. It's just a matter of sometimes one may deliver a lot more in 1 week and then the other weeks to follow kind of thing. So I don't necessarily correlate those two things together. Setups present oftentimes, during Asia as well, right? There was about 3 weeks ago, I had 6 trades during Asia, and they were some of the better trades I had taken this year. So just time doesn't really know what price is doing, and vice versa. They don't really correlate together. It's when the setups develop and however long they take. Yeah, we just capitalize on when these things actually happen. Cool. Okay, guys. I will. Yeah, like I said, I'll get the and when comparing all pairs only in New York. But I think I get your point. Yeah. So I mean, personally, I'm not up for London, so a lot of my stuff that I kind of go over is based on what's available during yeah, New York, because I'm just not up at that time. So ideally, I'm always looking for stuff to set up during New York, just based on the fact that that's when I'm on the charts. Furthermore, like I will hit that sort of crossover zone between London and New York. And then again, you know, if something happens later in the afternoon, sets up for Asia, like I'm happy to get involved if we're at the top of market structure or bottom of market structure. Cool. Yeah, that's it. I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, don't forget to throw your IG names in your Discord bio. If you guys want to start sharing your case studies, like we're going to go through some of the archived ones from June, and we're going to start posting them on the Fractal Markets page. So yeah, just FYI, if it's something that's of interest to you, you know, don't hesitate to throw your IG name in your Discord bio. It just makes it a little bit easier. Otherwise, we're just going to post it as like an anonymous person. If you want the credit or the shout out on IG, we're happy to do that for community members. So that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget, we will be doing our draw on Friday for the $50,000 Ye8 account. All you have to do is leave an honest review. You don't even necessarily have to say that you like the community. We just want to know where we stand. We want to understand where the testimonials are sitting. It seems like everybody is enjoying their time here. But ultimately, we just want to make sure that we're providing, like I said, and I've said it previously, the best education that we possibly can to be able to make sure that we have successful traders in our group. So yeah, don't forget to do that. That's all you have to do to enter. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.